Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. A huge welcome to you once again. We are thrilled that you could take some time out of your evening tonight to spend with us here. We will be talking about our new webinar series. It is called Discover UC Merced. Tonight's topic is first-year admissions, so welcome once again. Before we get started, let me give you a couple of quick tips. If you would like to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen by clicking the audio settings button. If you need to adjust the size of your window, click on View Options in the upper portion of your screen. Lastly, and most importantly, we are fully staffed behind the scenes as well as on screen tonight to get to all of your questions. So take advantage of that question and answer, that Q&A button that you see on your screen. Send in those questions and we will get to those questions live towards the end of this presentation. We will have a live section for question and answers. We also will be getting to those behind the scenes. As I said, we are fully staffed, full of panelists and experts to get to those questions tonight. Once again, a huge welcome to you. My name is Ricky Hill, the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. At this time, it is my great honor and privilege to hand things over to my admissions colleague, Lillian.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first year admissions webinar. My name is Lillian Carrera, and I am a regional recruiter for the Southern California region. I am also a proud UC Merced alumna, so I'm really excited to be able to come back and be a resource to future Bobcats. So hopefully after this webinar, we can go ahead and answer all your questions live, or feel free to reach out after. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to my colleague, Iona.
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Lillian. It's such a pleasure to have you all join us with UC Merced's first year admissions presentation as part of our Discover UC Merced series. My name is Iona Nee, and I am the Assistant Director for Domestic Recruitment with the Undergraduate Office of Admissions. I'm also a proud UC Merced alumna. I studied political science and environmental science at UC Merced, and I'm happy to share with you an overview of what UC Merced programs and opportunities are available to you. And then Lily will do an overview of the admissions requirements. So let's first start off with the University of California. UC Merced is the newest and 10th addition to the University of California system. We opened up in 2005. And when you're looking to apply to the University of California, you'll find that there are really three factors that make each of our campuses distinct. The first will be location, the second will be of majors, and the third will be the number of students. And when you're looking at the University of California, we really encourage you to think of us as just one university and 9 undergraduate campuses. You're probably wondering, where is UC Merced located? As that was one of the first questions I asked when I was applying to the University of California. We are proudly located in the San Joaquin Valley, which is also known as the Central Valley, where majority of the food that we eat is produced in California. And we're located in the city of Merced, which is roughly 4 hours north from the LA area, 2 hours east of the San Francisco Bay Area, 2 hours south of our capital, Sacramento. And what's unique about our campus is our proximity to Yosemite National Park. We are the only campus in the nation that has a partnership with Yosemite. So if you love the outdoors, you love nature, you can actually be a park ranger and live and work in Yosemite. And UC Merced, or the city of Merced, is a fast growing town in California. We have a city that comprises about 90,000 folks. And as the university grows, so does the offerings within our city. We actually have a beautiful mall. We have a Target, an In-N-Out, Costco. We have a wonderful downtown area that has nightlife, shopping. Some of our alum actually own some of the restaurants in downtown areas. So we have an awesome partnership with our community in the city of Merced. And let's talk about the student population and what UC Merced is like. So being that we're the newest campus in the UC system, we're also the smallest in terms of student population. We have around 9,000 students total. That makes up both graduate and undergraduate students. Note that most of our students are undergraduate students. That means you all looking to receive your bachelor's degree. And what does that mean? That means that most of the resources on campus, like tutoring and mentorship, are geared for all of you undergraduate students. So we're proud that we can provide those opportunities for our UC Merced community. And that's actually one of the main reasons students choose to attend UC Merced. They like that it is a smaller campus environment. They like that close-knit, tight community, that they actually get to know the professors. The professors know them by their name. They're not just know their face in a large lecture hall. And at UC Merced, we're proud to have one of the highest percentage of first-generation students. That means that you're the first in your family to attend college. We also are recognized as a Hispanic serving institution, and we're also eligible to be an ANAPISI serving institution. ANAPISI is Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander. So we're proud to be a minority-serving institution and offer resources and opportunities for students from all different populations and demographics. And you can also get a sense of where our students are coming from. Most of our students are coming from the California region. Note that most 40% are coming from Southern California, with about 30% coming from both Northern California and the Central Valley. And note that for the past few years, we've been rapidly expanding. We actually completed our Merced 2020 project, where we added this whole right side here. So when I was a UC Merced student, this Olympic size swimming pool did not exist, nor did this competitive soccer field. So we're really excited to have these opportunities for our students. We added our biomedical research center, more dorms, classroom building, office space. What's unique about this expansion of campus is that we're providing more of a city-like living learning community, where we have classrooms, office space on the first floor, and then dorms on the top floors, really providing more of that walkable community environment. You can get a sense of some of our cool research labs here as well. And you'll find that at UC Merced, we have a beautiful lake and river that flows through the university. Being that we're built in the 21st century, we are truly the definition of a 21st American research university and institute, where a lot of our campus's energy is powered by renewable energy. For example, this river or canal that flows through the university actually helps power the AC system on campus. And a lot of students like to go to Lake Yosemite, which is right here at the top, which is about a 10-minute walking distance from campus. So you're probably wondering, what do students do on their free time outside the classroom setting? So you have no problem getting involved at UC Merced or within our community, as our Bobcats, that's our mascot, we're the Bobcats, are highly involved. Over 70% are involved on or off campus. And what's exciting is you have the opportunity to help build the culture and identity of UC Merced. Students like that this is the newest campus. You just saw our huge expansion with the Merced 2020 project. They like that they can help build the culture, where if we don't have a club that fits your interest, you can easily create one here. And we offer over 20, or I should say 200 different clubs and organizations that range from Greek life, music, arts, dance, faith-based. You can see some of our Greek life, our band on campus, as well as our multicultural clubs. And note that at UC Merced, we have a variety of different fraternities and sororities. About 18% of our student body are actually involved in Greek life. And note that Greek life is not just social, but also academic. Both of my roommates were engineers, and they got to be part of the engineering fraternity that's co-ed. We also offer a few medical fraternities, business fraternity, and psychology fraternity. And as I shared earlier, if we don't have what you like, you can easily create that here at UC Merced. And that's what students love, is that if you don't have a salsa club or a fun event, you can have the autonomy to do that here. And what are some events? Well, we are happy to host hundreds of events throughout the year, so you will have no problem getting involved on your free time. Some of our fun events are Pride Week, as shown here, Sustainability Week. We have, everyone loves Halloween. We have Dia de los Muertos, as well as a huge Halloween carnival called Treats and Beats. So you have treats, that trick-or-treating aspect, and then beats, the music aspect. And we all know, Coachella Music Festival. Well, we have what's called Cowchella here at UC Merced, because there are cows in the area. And historically, we brought a lot of big artists from hip hop, rap, electronic music to campus. You can see here we had Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, we've had George Lopez, probably know Pete Davidson from SNL. And what's exciting is our campus activities board, which is student organized, are the ones who actually bring all of these artists and comedians to campus. So if you like the idea of being part of the events organization, we highly encourage you to get involved and continue supporting and bringing up these big events for our student body to be part of. So let's talk about the sports aspect. As you saw on the photo earlier, we just opened up our huge aquatic Olympic-sized swimming pool and our competitive soccer field. So we're part of the NAIA League. You're probably wondering, what is that? Well, that is the National Athletic Intercollegiate Association, and we are part of the California Pacific Conference. And we are recruiting for these 6 sports here, from men's and women's basketball, cross-country, soccer, volleyball, and we're really excited to add men's and women's water polo and track this year. But note that if you're not looking to be recruited for one of these athletic programs, but looking to play for fun, you can do so as part of our club sports and intramural sports. Ours part of the women's flag football team, where we just created our own team on campus and competed in the tournament. And it was just a pickup game every couple of weeks. And if you're interested in whitewater rafting, backpacking, hiking, snowboarding, skiing, mountain climbing, rock climbing, bouldering, snowshoeing, we offer all of those fun outdoor adventures and activities as part of our Yosemite Leadership Program and Recreation Center. And if you love to go camping or want to go camping, you can actually rent camping equipment like tents and sleeping bags with the Outdoor Recreation Center. So let's quickly dive into housing. So at UC Merced, we are proud to be able to guarantee housing for first-year freshmen for 2 years, as long as you are applying by the housing deadline. And we highly encourage students to definitely live on campus at least their first year, because our studies find that students who live on campus tend to perform better academically and socially. If you're not a morning person, don't worry. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get to your classes from the freshman dorms. If you are not into cooking or you're not confident yet, don't worry. We have our pavilion dining center that's all you can eat, that is open for a variety of different hours, but know that there are actually kitchens, community kitchens on the first floor of some of the dorm halls, where if you love to bake or cook, you have the opportunity available to you. And at UC Merced, our housing will range from singles all the way up to quadruples. And what's amazing is our laundry system emails you and texts you when it's done. So you can quickly check in your laundry, go to class, and then time it properly where it's done once class is over. And what's unique about our living learning communities, or the housing environment on campus, is that we have themed halls as part of the living learning communities. So if you're interested in social justice, sustainability, or want to pursue medicine or engineering, we actually have a variety of different themed halls for you to live with students who have similar interests. And note that some of these living learning communities also provide mentors, where you get to interact with staff and network to help prepare you for your intended career and interests. And this is just a nice setup of how our campus housing looks and what we provide. So know that when you come to UC Merced, you literally just bring your clothes and yourself, because we do provide the beds, the mattresses, the desk space, and the cabinets. So let's dive into what the academic programs are at UC Merced. We have 27 different majors and under 3 academic schools: the School of Engineering, the School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, and the School of Natural Sciences. And note that as the campus continues to expand, so does our program offerings. We're happy to be able to provide electrical engineering just this year, as well as writing studies. And note that none of our majors are impacted at UC Merced. So what does impacted mean or selective mean? That means that there's a capacity, a maximum number of students that are admitted to a major. As you saw in the photo earlier, we rapidly expanded. Therefore, we do not have a cap on the number of students we admit towards certain majors that's listed here. So note that UC Merced, if you're admitted, you are admitted to your first choice major. And note that you have the flexibility to change your major, which is awesome as well, because we understand that at your age, you have a variety of different interests, and we know that you may want to explore. For example, I came into UC Merced as an undeclared major, and I was exploring my first year, and I was still able to graduate within a timely manner and complete my degree in 4 years. I was actually able to complete my degree in 3.5 years, but I love college so much, so that's why I used that extra semester my senior year to study abroad. And as I shared earlier, because Yosemite is in our backyard, we have an awesome program with the Yosemite National Park, where you can be a park ranger for a 2-year program or a summer program, where you live in the park over summer and you're paid to be a park ranger, where you can provide tours, as well as you can work at the visitor center or welcome center. And note that as a University of California campus, research is at the core of why we exist. A lot of things that you all utilize day to day has been invented or patented at the University of California system. And we're excited to have our Sierra Nevada Research Institute up in Yosemite National Park. And note that, as cliche as it sounds, the world is your oyster when you're at the University of California, and you don't just have opportunities to study or live at UC Merced. As I shared earlier, we have what's called our UC Education Abroad program, where you can study in over 40 different programs from many different continents, from Asia to South America, Africa, and Europe. As I shared earlier, I was able to study abroad in Rome, Italy in my senior year, and we highly encourage students to consider studying abroad, because you're not just studying, you have the opportunity to perform research, be part of internships, and work abroad. For example, I was interning at Rome's largest farmers market. I was able to receive course credit because it was part of a sustainability policy program as part of my minor, environmental science. And besides getting course credit, I got a lot of free food at the farmers market. And you can see here just a sense of where some of our UC Merced Bobcats have studied, everywhere from London to Ireland and India. And note that we also have our own centers in our capitals, in Sacramento, as well as UC-DC. So we have our own UC Center in the capital, Washington, DC, where you're studying with other UC students and you're required to have an internship. So note that study abroad is available to you the summer after freshman year up until you graduate. And note that your financial aid travels with you. So when I studied abroad in Rome, Italy, the cost was similar to what I was paying for tuition when I was at UC Merced. How does UC Merced prepare you for life after college, and what types of professional development programs are available to you? So note that the University of California, a lot of our sister campuses will have professional programs like medical schools and law schools. And we're not there yet, operative word being yet, but we do have the pre-professional programs to prepare you for law school and medical school. We have our pre-health advising program. We have our pre-law advising programs. And as I alluded to earlier, we have a lot of professional programs like our medical fraternities and engineering fraternities to ensure that you have the resources and networking opportunities to be competitive once you graduate from UC Merced. And research is at our core. As I shared earlier, a lot of what we conduct and what is taught from our professors is patented or invented at the UC system. And we're really proud to have over 18 research facilities and institutes within the Merced area and on campus. And let's highlight one of our most recent projects that we were part of alongside NASA. So if you'll recall, in the summer of 2020, NASA launched the latest mission to Mars, and they sent the Perseverance Mars rover. And our School of Engineering had the opportunity to help build the arm that the Mars rover uses here to collect samples from the big red planet. So note that at UC Merced, research is not just within the STEM field. Research is across all disciplines. It's really interdisciplinary. For example, I studied political science. I got to engage in research regarding voter behavior and voter turnout. Know that research is available from majors such as psychology and English. And what's wonderful at UC Merced is being that we are a relatively smaller student population. It's not as competitive. As long as you put yourself out there and take initiative, you'll find that the opportunities are abundant. Now let's talk about how we empower our student body. We're not just like, hey, here's your UC Merced degree, good luck in the world. We want to ensure that you're not just surviving college, but you're truly thriving. And know that as part of your tuition and fees, these student support services come with that. So we highly encourage our students to take advantage of the tutoring, the mentorship programs. We understand that students have all different needs. So if you're the first in your family to attend college, we have what's called our Fiat Lux program for first generation students. We have an amazing program for transfer returning veteran students. And those who are undocumented, we have what's called our documented student services. We also understand that students may come from foster youth or be a former or current foster youth. So we are homeless. We have what's called our guardian scholars. And we know that the pandemic has been challenging for everybody. So we've expanded our health center or our counseling and psychological services throughout the pandemic, both virtually and in-person counseling sessions. And I've alluded to this earlier about what is life like after college, and what's amazing about what we're really proud of for our Center for Career and Professional Advancement is that once you graduate from UC Merced, you have access to resources to the Center for Career and Professional Advancement. So although I graduated years ago, I can still reach out to our Career Center and say, hey, is there any way I can still obtain opportunities and mentorship for job interviews or applying to grad school? And this is a small sample of where our current alumni work at, as well as attend graduate school. And note that every year, UC Merced hosts a huge career fair in the spring where we bring in hundreds of employers throughout the state to recruit you all. And note that they don't just come during the spring during that career fair. We've had big companies from Google to Twitter provide info sessions throughout the year, as well as tabling. And know that at UC Merced, we tend to oversaturate our students with these programs and internships and support services. For example, we've had a partnership with Apple. So if any of you who've actually owned an Apple product, you may have had to reach out to Apple Care for assistance with your product. Well, if you've ever had to call customer service Apple Care, you may have actually interacted with a UC Merced student. They hire our students to work remotely from their dorm room. So know that there's so many opportunities available. It's truly what you make of your experiences and how you take advantage of it. And now I'll pass it over to my colleague, Lillian, to share more about the admissions and financial aid process at UC Merced.
Hi, everyone. So we're going to go ahead and dive into admissions and financial aid. We're going to cover a little bit about what the requirements are and how to be able to apply for financial aid and how to navigate the application. So in this slide, we're going to go ahead and quickly highlight some of the deadlines. So it looks like August, we do find ourselves in November, and it looks like August 1st, the application already did open. However, the time frame for you to go ahead and submit that application will be from October 1st through November 30. And in case you were a spring semester applicant, that application would be open for you to submit between July 1st and July 31. So something important for the highlight as well is that there exists only one UC application. So at the end of that application, you'll be able to select which UCs you want that application to be distributed to, but it's important to remember that it's just one application. And each application, there is a fee for each application, and some students may qualify for fee waivers for those applications. But it's important to note that it's $70 per campus and $80 for those international applicants. And if you wanted to learn more about what we're going to go over, that website, admissions.ucmerced.edu/apply, would be the correct website for you to navigate. Next slide, please. Now, for the average GPA for the students that we admit does range between 3.26 and 3.95. However, that is just an average. We do accept students that are well below 3.2 and well above 3.9. Next slide, please. With that being said, these will be the two minimum requirements for you to be a first-year applicant. So as you can see, number 2 does say that the minimum requirement would be a 3.0 or above. And the A through G requirements is another requirements that you'd have to hit, but a lot of students are already familiar with it because these are requirements that you actually need to graduate high school. So we like to highlight how, for example, English, there's 4 years required, correct? So even though we're only weighing your grades from 10th grade and 11th grade, so sophomore and junior year, we are still considering the grades that you received in 9th grade and 12th grade. Because, for example, English, we're checking out your 4 years that you completed throughout high school. So we strongly encourage to make sure that you are still passing those classes with a C grade or above, or a pass, no pass, which leads me to my next slide, please. So as you can see here, we like to highlight that during COVID, some students did get pass or credit grades earned during the winter of 2020 and the summer of 2021. So that is something that UC Merced is accepting. And it's also important to note that the UCs are no longer looking at SAT or ACT scores. So you are welcome to submit those scores if you wanted to go ahead and receive an alternative method of fulfilling some minimum requirements. You could do that, but at the time of us reading your application and reviewing it, your SAT or ACT scores are not something that we're considering. So next slide, please. Now, I get this question a lot where students will ask me, hey, Lily, what will make me stand out when it comes to UC Merced, to applying to UC Merced? So we like to go over this specific slide. On the right side, you'll be able to see that 30%, how we weigh students with that 30% of those non-academic factors. And on the left side, you'll be able to see that 70%, how we weigh those students 70% based on their, sorry, did I repeat that? They're academic factors. The right side is non-academic factors. So the GPA, like I mentioned, would be a minimum of 3.0. We're also going to look at those courses completed, those courses that you have planned, for example, in your senior year, and those honors courses that you were able to take. Now, it's important to note that certain schools are going to offer certain honors classes, right? And other schools do not. So when students are applying, we want you to be aware that you're not being compared to other schools. We don't want you to be discouraged in thinking that your school may have not provided those AP courses that another school might have across town. So we like to encourage students to always apply. And when it comes to non-academic factors that you see on your right side, we want to see who you are as a leader or who you are as a student outside of that academic, outside of those academic factors. So for example, I like to ask students if they ever babysit at home, or if they ever have a job maybe outside of school. And I asked them, did you ever consider and maybe putting that as part of your application? And they will say, well, I didn't think that babysitting at home was something important for me to put. And I try to get your guys' mind going in considering that a job, right? Because if you are putting that you babysit at home, us as readers, how we're reading that and interpreting it is that not only are you time managing, not only are you a mentor, you're also juggling a lot of responsibilities inside your home and outside when it comes to going to school. So that just gives us a little bit more insight about who that student is. So we really want to encourage you guys to think outside the box and not only have us see you when it comes to your transcripts. We want to see who you are outside of high school as well. Next slide, please. Which leads me into my personal inside question slide. So these are going to be the 8 questions. There's going to be 8 questions where you get to choose 4. So we want you to answer no more than 4, no less than 4. And in these questions, you're really going to describe who you are. You're going to tell us in your own words who you are. And it's important to note that no question is more important than the other. We want you to pick whatever question, or we want you to answer whatever question you think will best describe you. And in the past, I've heard students refer to these questions as personal statements or essays. It's important to note that these are not essays. These are just simply questions we want you to answer. There is a 350 word limit. So we want you to be as direct as possible. We want you to treat this as an interview. We want you to answer this question as if you were in an interview with me, right? So we want you to shy away. We discourage for you to put any quotes or for you to put us in the moment with you or any cookie cutter words. So we strongly encourage you not to put maybe like, one morning I was walking and the sun beamed on my face. Those are just, although it's really beautiful to read that, this is not a creative writing question. So we want you to just answer it as directly as possible to take advantage of those 350 words. Oftentimes, students also want to let us know who their inspiration was or who their grandma was, how their grandma inspired them. Although that's beautiful, we want to learn more about you and not about your grandma or not about the person that inspired you, because 350 words will come around rather quickly. So we encourage you to just answer it as directly as possible. Next slide, please. These are going to be 8 questions that you get to choose. Again, we strongly encourage you to just choose 4, no more than 4, no less than 4. At the end, you are going to see an additional comment section. And we want to note that that section is not provided for you to answer another one of these inside questions. That section is simply for you to add any other comments that you want to highlight based on the application. Next slide, please. And after you apply, we also want to strongly encourage you to print a copy of your application just so you can have that as a physical form for your own records, and research and apply for scholarships. So at the time of application, there's also a separate application that you can apply to, which would be a FAFSA or your DREAM Act application. And it's important to note that once you do that, at the time that you're also applying for UC applications, you're going to be exposed to certain scholarships available during the time that you're doing your applications. And we want to encourage you to select any scholarship that you think applies to you. So read them carefully and really consider if it applies to you. And if you think it does at the moment, go ahead and check off that box just to go ahead and expand those opportunities of scholarships for yourself. And you will also be able to update your application. You cannot update your responses to your PIQ questions, but you can update, for example, your address, your phone number, more so information about how to reach you, or if any information has currently changed, but unfortunately not your PIQ responses. And later you would have to go ahead and await your admission decisions. We will usually roll out admission decisions maybe the next year around March. That's usually when all the UCs let students know, but that would just be something you would have to go ahead and wait by next year. So go ahead, next slide. And so that leads me to financial aid. So we like to share something that we're really proud of is that 89% of our students receive financial aid, which for us, it's a really amazing number. We really like to encourage students to apply. We did just expand in 2020. So what that means is that we're trying to incentivize students. We're trying to encourage students to apply, given that that 89% of our students receive financial aid, because now we have the bandwidth to house you. And how to apply for financial aid. On the right side, you'll see some important dates. You'll apply for admissions for UC Merced by November 30. So like Iona said, please do not wait until like Thanksgiving break. We encourage you to do it as soon as possible. You'll submit that FAFSA application or your GMAC application by March 2nd, and your Cal Grant GPA verification by March 2nd as well. And you'll also complete and return any documents requested by Office of Financial Aid by June 1st. So we strongly encourage you to be aware of your emails and be constantly checking so that in case we require any documentation or any further documentation in order to continue that admission, that you're fully aware by checking your emails and being able to respond to us in a timely manner. So next slide, please. And now a little bit more about scholarships. So we are really proud about these two different scholarships and opportunity plans that we offer. We offer the middle class scholarship. Those are for students that household income is above 80,000. So it'll be between 80 and 191,000. And the blue and gold opportunity plan are for students who qualify and have applied for FAFSA or have an AB 540 status and whose household income is below 80,000. And with that being said, there's another two recognitions that we have that we're also super proud of. We're recognized as the #1 public university in the nation for offering need-based scholarships. So imagine that we opened up in 2005 and we have quickly risen to be recognized as the #1 public university to offer financial aid. I'll be honest, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know did choose UC Merced for that financial aid package that they offered. So I always strongly encourage students, if you meet requirements to apply and then later evaluate, what does my financial aid package look like? Because it's better for you to apply and have that option and review that option than for you to have never applied and never have known. And the second nomination that we also like to share is that we're the #2 public university in the nation for least amount of debt. So for those students that graduate and the debt that they acquire after, we rank #2 in being that least amount. So that's really awesome for us, myself included. So next slide, please. And now for the WUI, I'll go ahead and pass it on over to my colleague Iona because she is an out-of-state recruiter and she'll be able to give you more information about that.
Okay, thank you, Lillian. So we would quickly like to highlight financial aid opportunities for those who are not California residents and do reside in a state on the western side of the United States. We're really proud to be part of the Western Undergraduate Program, also known as WUI. So for any of our attendees here who live in any of these states on the western side of the US, you can be eligible for WUI, where you can save up to over $20,000 on tuition. And you do not need to submit a WUI application. Just by submitting your UC application by November 30th, we will automatically screen you for WUI based on your residency. This is a wonderful opportunity for both first year and transfer students. And know that WUI, you will be able to receive it for all 4 years, for all those 4 years that you're enrolled at UC Merced. So up to 4 years. And note that the minimum GPA requirement for WUI is a 3.5 weighted GPA. And that's based on the GPA when you're submitting your UC application. And what's important to know is that currently all majors are WUI eligible except for undeclared. So that's just general undeclared. But note that that's an amazing opportunity because if you're looking to attend majors like computer science, biological sciences, they're all WUI eligible. So we highly encourage you, especially for our out-of-state non-resident students who reside in one of the Western states here, to consider UC Merced, as we do save you over $20,000 on tuition and fees. And with that, we'll dive into our student highlights. This is our favorite part of the event, is an opportunity for you to hear from our current UC Merced Bobcats. And with that, we'll have David introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Gutierrez. I'm originally from San Diego, California, South Bay. My pronouns are he, him, his. My major is management business economics. I'm currently in my last semester, hence that plus. I was formerly involved with the Associated Students, Alpha Kappa Psi, ASUCM Campus Activities Board as well. And my plans for January will be hopefully going into event operations in Merced or in the Silicon Valley.
Hi everyone, my name is Kirpinder Bahia. I'm from Modesto, California. So attending UC Merced really meant a lot to me. Being from the Central Valley, having a UC in the Central Valley really meant a lot to me. I'm double majoring in public health and psychology. And just like David, I'm in my last semester as well. So It's very bittersweet, very exciting. Some of my involvements, I'm a student ambassador. I'm also affiliated with a social and professional Greek org on campus. I'm involved in Kappa Kappa Gamma social sorority and a part of Alpha Phi Omega professional service fraternity. I'm also part of the campus activities board. I'm an NCPC intern and I'm a part of the pre-nursing club. So it's a lot going on. I'm a busy bee on campus, but I love every minute of it. And then my plans after college, hopefully I'm going to work as a CNA and then apply to a master's entry-level program in nursing.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily. I'm originally from Waxahachie, California, so the Central Coast area. I'm a second-year sociology major. Things that I am involved with on campus. I used to work for the admissions event department, and now I transferred over to be a student ambassador this year, which has been really exciting and it's been a really good learning experience for myself, I think. Post-college plans, I want to go into either social work at my local county or go into school counseling.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. And now let's quickly share more about visiting UC Merced. We always encourage students, the best way to know if UC Merced is a right fit for you is to have an opportunity to tour campus. We highly encourage you to visit UC Merced, and we know that in terms of distance, if you don't have opportunity to come in person, we'd love to welcome you to take a virtual tour. But this is just a sense of the opportunities available to you with both guided tours, in-person guided tours. We have live guided tours virtually, as well as drone tours. We've actually partnered with our School of Engineering to develop drone tours, as we're known for our drone research on campus. And then we also offer self-guided tours. Definitely check out our tours, UC Merced Tours Instagram, to get a sense of what UC Merced Tours Welcome Center life is like. And we also have a lot of upcoming webinars to help you prepare for the UC application. We see a lot of UC application questions in the Q&A, and we're here to help you. We host webinars, one-on-one advising sessions. We highly encourage you to visit our Discover UC Merced Virtual Series events page for you to check out all of the upcoming webinars, from application advising to financial aid, and you'll hear from us directly, students and the admissions team. And with that, we'll pass it over to our moderator Ricky, to ask our panelists some questions.
Thank you so much, Iona. What a fabulous presentation. As always, you guys are always just big rock stars with this, especially on this first one here for our first year students. We're so excited to be here with all of you, and look at those wonderful questions that just keep rolling in. If you haven't yet sent one to us, make sure you use that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and go ahead and get that sent over. And this is your time to listen for your answer. Now, before we go on, this would be a fabulous time for you to grab your smartphone and take a quick screenshot of what you see in front of you right now. We do have many different social media platforms where we have channels there. So you see those on the screen. Our most recent addition is TikTok. So we are now with the times and everyone can start following us there. Keep a lookout for a upcoming contest. So a little inside scoop for you. So make sure that you do add us there for more updates about events as well. And we also have been recording this event, and it will be available within just a couple of days. We will drop that link for you into the chat so that you can not only keep up with future events and make sure that you're registered, but also you can go ahead and check out the replays, where this one will be in just a few days on our YouTube channel. We will link you directly there. Also, quickly, you also see email address, mailing address, and phone number. So again, this is a great opportunity to take a screenshot. We'll also leave this up for you for just a little bit during this question and answer session. All right, let's jump right into our questions. It's why you're all here, right? So the first one here, what tuition do we pay if we study abroad for one semester?
That's a wonderful question, Ricky. Yeah, so note that that question will vary on the term, right? So you asked about semester, but we offer a year of study abroad as well as a summer program. And it will vary by program, and if you're part of the UC Education Abroad program. So when I went to Rome, Italy, it was the own center. So UC had their own center in Rome, and the tuition and fees were the same as if I was attending UC Merced. Note that on top of UC EAP, Education Abroad, you can actually be a exchange student at an international university. So I had a friend who attended or studied at this London School of Economics. So that tuition and fees will vary, but if you're at the UC EAP program, it's generally the same as if you're studying at your respective UC campus. And note that The other costs that will vary will be housing and your personal expenses like travel, food. But UC is great about helping you provide or look for housing while you're at your respective country. For example, when I was in Rome, Italy, I lived with students from UC Berkeley, UC Santa Cruz. So it was essentially like a big dorm, but a nice, wonderful apartment complex.
Wonderful, thanks, Iona. And here's another one I think you might be able to answer for us as well. Students from outside of California, do they have a harder time applying for admissions?
That's a great question. So note that it's not necessarily a harder time to apply for admissions. It's just that the GPA minimum is a bit higher than the California resident GPA. So again, the California resident GPA to be eligible to apply is a weighted 3.0, while the non-resident, so those who are international or not California residents, it's a minimum 3.4 GPA. And the 3.4 is weighted and it's calculated from the summer after freshman year to the summer before senior year. So essentially sophomore and junior year. And as a public university, we're here to provide equity and accessibility to our California students. So that is why that GPA will vary. But note that UC Merced, we're eager to welcome international and non-resident students. For example, that is why we offer the WUBI Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, a tuition discount program, because we're looking to bring a wider variety and diversity of student population.
Wonderful. And another quick one here. Do letter of recommendation, does that help at all with the application?
That's a great question that we get all the time in regards to the application process. So when students are submitting that initial UC application by November 30th, students will not have any opportunity to attach letters of recommendations or resumes or transcripts. So the UC application is purely a self-reported application. So this is why we highly encourage you to self-advocate for you. You want to be your best advocate, because we don't have the opportunity to meet you or interview you. We're only reviewing you on what you self-report. So know that in the initial application submission process by November 30th, we are not asking for letters of recommendation.
Very good. And what would you say is the best pathway for major minor coursework if someone's looking to go to law school?
That's a wonderful question. And note that to attend law school, you can actually major in anything. Law schools are looking for a competitive GPA when you graduate college, and they're also looking for a competitive score on the LSAT, which is the law exam. So you'll find that students will major in a variety of disciplines. And at UC Merced, we find that many students will major in political science, even management, business economics. We have a pre-law advising, and for example, I studied political science, and there was a lot of law study courses offered in that major. So traditionally, a lot of my peers did attend and apply to law school. But note that you could study a variety of different majors. One of my good friends studied bioengineering because she'd like to go to patent law. So truly, you want to take advantage of that pre-law advising program at UC Merced, regardless of the major.
Oh, interesting facts. Thank you so much, Iona. All right, so we do have some other questions kind of generally coming in about campus housing. So I'm not sure if some of our student panelists might want to share any information they have. One in particular, the first one that I'm seeing here, has to do with the restrooms and how those are maintained, and the gender that use that, and if you have a shared room, obviously with roommates, is there just one bathroom? If someone can share their experience there.
I can. So the residence area I lived in my first year was Mariposa, which is two separate suites, and in between the two suites is a bathroom. So it can range between 1 to 6 per individual bathroom use, including a shower as well. And there are other housing situations where it could be requested that you have a specific roommate. There's also different housing categories such as the LGBTQ plus Fiat Lux, and you could apply for housing with a designated roommate that you want to have. So ultimately, the housing department oversees all of that.
Thank you so much. Any other students on our panel who may want to share?
I can go. So for me, my first year, I was in a community style. So I lived in Glacier, so that was male and female on the floor, but there are designated areas. So there's the bathroom for the females and then the bathrooms for the males, but there's also a gender neutral bathroom as well, where it has a shower and a toilet individually if you're not comfortable sharing the community style. And then for the community style, it's usually about maybe 7 to 8 stalls for the toilets, and then about like 6 showers. So it's community style based on that. And then my second year, I lived in Valley Terraces, which was kind of like the apartment style. And for that one, based on how many individuals live with you, there could be 6 or there could be 4. From there, you'd be sharing a bathroom with people in that certain apartment style complex with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And we'll just stick on housing for just a moment. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the room style, how large they are, proximity to the food resources on campus, anything else that can give some more interest into our residence halls?
So I'm a second year and I've been living on campus for my first 2 years. Both the years I've lived in Half Dome, which is one of the first buildings that was built for residents. I really like it because we have one of the dining centers pretty close to us, and we're also kind of on the edge of campus. So it feels like you're a little bit more independent and you have more freedom because yes, you're on campus, but it also feels like you're living off campus at the same time. Half Dome, we have, again, community bathrooms, and our rooms are, I think, are pretty good size for dorms. When I was touring other dorms around other campuses, I definitely think Merced has pretty good sizes in rooms. But yeah.
Fantastic. All right, another good question for our student panelists. How do you find community at UC Merced?
I could kick this one off. And this is actually a really good question. I'm originally from, of course, San Diego. So it's a lot further than a lot of the local areas, such as the Bay Area. I felt like I was going to be a little bit lost, but I just looked out for clubs. I'm into Smash Brothers, so I looked out to see if there's any gaming clubs, and there is one. So I hopped in there. I found a few friends through there, and from there I just branched out to different interests that I found really close to home.
Very good. All right, our next question. What happens at the UC for You events at UC Merced?
So know that we are offering opportunities to visit UC Merced as well as other UC campuses. This is a great way for seniors who are currently applying to learn more about the UC system and the opportunities and programs available, as well as take a campus tour. So we highly encourage you, if you were invited to attend UC for You, to register, and you'll hear from all 9 undergraduate campuses, as well as you'll get the opportunity to meet with them at our tabling college fair, and then lastly, take that campus tour.
Wonderful. All right, so the next question, how in regards to the application for admissions, how does UC Merced review those, and is it done holistically?
That's a wonderful question we get all the time. And note that when you're applying to the University of California, each campus has the independent decision of how we review your application. So as Lillian shared, all of us will utilize those selection factors, those 13 comprehensive review factors, but every campus has an independent decision of how we utilize those factors. And important to note that our faculty is actually the one who determines how we interpret those factors. And at UC Merced, we put more emphasis on the academic piece. As Lillian presented on, 70% of our review is based on the academic portion of your application, which will be how rigorous your courses are, your GPA, how have you challenged yourself, and 30% will be on the non-academic factors. That will be your special achievements, your talents and awards, your community service, your work experience. And note that we highly encourage you to brag about how awesome you are. Do not be humble, do not be shy, because as I shared earlier, we don't get to meet you, we don't get to interview you. So you truly want to self-advocate and brag about what you're most proud of. We're looking for leadership and growth. Have you been more than just a member of a club or organization? Have you worked to demonstrate leadership? And as Lillian shared, leadership does not need an official title. If you're an older sibling and you babysit your younger siblings, that's tutoring, that's leadership. Put that in the application. If you have a lot of priorities and obligations at home where you have a lot of leadership, know that takes up a lot of your time. That is what you can share out in the application. So thank you, Ricky.
Sure, thanks, Iona. All right, so we do have some specific questions coming in about GPA and grades and that sort of thing. Iona, can you just touch on what those requirements are again? That hopefully that might help a little bit with some of the questions coming in.
Yes. So for California residents, we're looking for 2 minimum requirements. That would be a minimum GPA of a 3.0 and the A through G requirements. Note that the GPA 3.0 is only calculated from the A through G courses, and the GPA is only calculated from the summer after freshman year to the summer before senior year. However, we will look at everything. We will look at your ninth grade as well as your senior year. We'll look at how challenging and rigorous your senior year is. So for those of you seniors who are applying now, or even for our juniors who are applying next year, you definitely don't want to kick back and relax too much and have senioritis your senior year, because we'll wonder, why aren't you challenging yourself senior year like you did prior years? And for our non-resident students, the GPA is a 3.4 weighted GPA, and it will be in A through G courses. And we know that for non-resident students, you do not have an A through G courses like California students do. So we will look at your courses that are similar to A through G. And as Lillian shared, the UCs are no longer requiring SATs or ACTs. So those are no longer a requirement. And if you choose to take those exams and report them in the UC application, they will not be used or reviewed in our admissions purposes. So note that as a reader, I do not have access to those scores. As Lillian presented, they may be used to meet certain requirements like an A through G course so thank you.
Perfect. I'd like to shift over into the internship opportunities that UC Merced offers or helps our students find. Can we touch a little bit on that just in general? And then a specific question that came in, it is asking if we have any internship opportunities available for a law firm.
I could go ahead and answer this one. So every year in the spring, our CCPA, which is our Career Service Center, offers a career fair. And through there, we invite different corporations to come in and showcase themselves. On top of that, showcasing internships that are available within their business company. Sometimes it is firms. So firms are also invited to these career fairs.
Thank you so much. And do we have a panelist who can speak to what types of disability type services we have?
Thank you, Ricky. It's a wonderful question. I know that at UC Merced, that program is called the Student Accessibility Services. And note that once you're admitted and plan to enroll at UC Merced, you will indicate and reach out to our Student Accessibility Services with any support and assistance that you need. Some example of services that we do provide are note-taking, interpretation, and I highly encourage students, once they are admitted and enroll at UC Merced, to reach out to those respective offices to ensure that you have all of the resources you need prior to enrolling.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the next one, do we just have some general tips for applying and preparing for college?
Yes, so for tips, Lillian shared earlier, you do not want to wait until Thanksgiving break to submit the UC application. What's nice is we've expanded the application filing period from October 1st through November 30th. You can actually create the application today. It's been open since August 1st to create it, and then you have 2 months to submit it. And note that once you submit it, you won't have an opportunity to make many changes at all. So we highly encourage you to submit it when it is the best representation of you. Do not rush through it. And know that it does not matter when you submit it. If it's the 1st of October or after Thanksgiving, truly submit it when you find it's the best representation of you, because we do not care when you submit it, as long as you submit it by November 30th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Definitely an important date to mark. Even though it seems like it's a ways away, definitely grab your calendar or your phone and put that in right away. All right, so this next one talks a little bit about the meal services that we have. So a student is asking, or they're stating that I heard that the students have a buffet style meal plan. And if we have any idea what the cost would be, I don't know if we have those numbers quite yet, but can we talk a little bit about what that looks like?
I can answer this one. So on campus, we have 2 dining centers. It's the DC and the Pavilion. Both of them have buffet style dining, which means that you have various options of what you want. I know for a lot of the times it's like burgers, or they have Mexican food, or they have Asian food. It's every day varies from the food that you can. I really like it because I feel like before I came to college, I didn't have a wide palette of foods that I liked. And now that I'm in college, I've been trying new foods and just trying to figure out what I like and I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I heard this correctly, but we also have food trucks that come every once in a while to offer different items. So just the other day, I had a Philly cheesesteak from one of the food trucks, and honestly, it's really good. So and just a variety of different vendors come in to provide different food options for you all. Of course, the Pavilion also has really good food options. They have vegan options, vegetarian options, whatever dietary need you need.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And as we are getting a little bit closer to wrapping up our event tonight, I would like to invite all of our student panelists on screen with us. And I would like to just go by alphabetical order. So David, we'll start with you. If you can just give a couple last words for advice or just any inspirational comments that you'd like to share with our audience this evening.
Yeah, definitely. The shift of graduating high school is very soon. And with college applications going about, you have to be very careful in picking the right place for you. For myself, I looked at UC Merced as an opportunity for myself to grow. And I think that's just something that you'll have to keep in mind, just to grow and find yourself. I definitely found myself here.
I would say something like a tip is don't put that much pressure on yourself your first year. Understand that you're going to be learning. You have long ways to learn. Be open to different experiences and just become kind of like a yes person here, because that's going to open you up to so many things that you never thought you would be able to do.
I would say don't be afraid to ask for help as well. I know it can be kind of intimidating transitioning from high school into college, and you may feel a little alone or scared that you don't belong, and imposter syndrome can kind of take over. But know that you belong and that there are so many opportunities here. Definitely don't be afraid to reach out and look for them, because the universities, that's what they want. They want you to be able to, reach out. They're there to help you and provide those resources. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely. What a great representation of our student campus population right now. Thank you so much, you guys, for being on the panel. Iona, I saw that you popped on. Would you like to share some last minute words?
Yes, I'd just like to remind all of our students who are applying, that our application readers will range in age and gender, and there's a reason we're called admissions officers. We're trying to find ways to admit you. We're trying to find ways to say yes. So as I shared earlier, you truly want to self-advocate for you, share out your accomplishments, but also don't hesitate to share any challenges that you've overcome, because we know the pandemic has been challenging for everyone. Because as readers, we cannot assume anything. If I see that there's a negative or positive trend in your grades, I will want to know why, and I'm hoping you tell us why. There are many areas you can do so, such as the additional comments. So like I said, we're trying to find ways to say yes, to admit you. That's why we're called admissions officers, not rejection officers. We're called the Office of Admissions. And thank you so much, Ricky.
Thank you so much, Iona, to all of our student panelists. What a fantastic way to kick off this Discover UC Merced webinar virtual series. We've had so much fun with you tonight, as always. And what I'd like to just remind you all of right now is, once again, grab that smartphone, take a quick screenshot of what you're seeing in front of you. All of our social media platforms are listed there. We have lots of fun things going on there. You can get an insight into our beautiful campus, our student population. We try to post as much as we can, as well as our wonderful and lovable mascot Rufus Bobcat. You don't want to miss out on seeing inside pictures of him as well. And then, like I said too, we do have our contact information, so you can definitely take a screenshot and reach out to us at your convenience. We are available basically 24 hours a day electronically. We may not be there to answer right on the spot, but by the next day you'll be getting a response from us in one way or another. One last quick reminder, this event has been recorded, and that is what we always try to do, so that within a couple days we can get this up online for you, so you can watch that as an on-demand instant replay. So in the chat, you should be seeing that links to get you over there to that event page. Also on the event page, that's where you register for these events. So you probably have already seen it once already, since you are here with us tonight. So make sure that you bookmark that page, keep a lookout for upcoming events, as well as those instant replays. Give us just a couple days and you'll see that there. It will bounce you over to our YouTube channel, and you can take a look at other events that you may have missed in the past. Like I said, social media is there, especially TikTok. That is our newest channel to our social media family. Make sure that you are following us and take a look. We just happened to have posted a new video today, so definitely take a look there. And we do have an upcoming contest, so keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. Those important dates and deadlines that we did mention earlier, that application for admission did open on August 1st. Go ahead and get started on that right away. Don't delay. Go ahead and apply today. And also that submission time period, it does start October 1st through November 30th. So make sure that you are getting ready to go with that. And of course, we hope to see you at a future event here with UC Merced. We are so excited to get you here as a future Bobcat. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful night.